Today I will be ranking every single boss in Dark Souls 1 from worst to best. And that's all for the intro, let's get started. Now for the worst boss in this game, it's Bat of Chaos. Were you expecting something else? Really? This boss is not only the worst one in the entire game, but also one of the worst bosses ever made. Although it has some of the best lore in the game and a fine music behind it, everything else just sucks. This burning tree, which looks more like a matchstick, is a gimmick fight. In order to beat it, you are required to destroy 2 parts of it, while the boss keeps doing its 2 attacks, swiping around and slamming you all over the arena. Which, by the way, starts crumbling mid-fight, meaning you're going to be pushed to the darkest pit of hell where this boss came from. Cause you see, dodging its attacks is unfair and boring, there is no reward, no consistent way to handle it, with the solo exception of Havel, of course. But hey, at least after you die, you can experience a nice light. And look, the game even saves your progress in the fight. So thank you Miyazaki, I love doing the run back with the overtuned lava sound for 2 whole minutes! So let's pretend you're able to destroy those 2. Now, you have to reach the middle of it and kill a pathetic bug. Just take care to not be stuck and get burned to death. Wow, what amazing boss fight. In the end, this boss is bad. Of chaos. And now is a good time to address that I will also be putting these bosses in a tier list. So F tier bosses are those which the game would have been better without them, which means the next boss also sucks. Here we go, at number 25 I'm going with Capra Demon, which really challenges Bat of Chaos to be the worst boss in this game, but I guess it doesn't come even close to the bullshit that is that boss fight. Anyway, Capra here is made different, cause there is nothing good about it. Let's get started by saying that he's not even the actual boss. The real one are the dogs in his arena, which by the way is smaller than a gas station restaurant, which somehow tends to be better than this. When you enter the fog, you are instantly attacked by the dogs. The best way you can handle them is to get up the stairs and pray that you can kill the dogs before Capra gets to you. So this fight is purely based on RNG. If you defeat the dogs, you win. If you don't, I'm sorry. Because when Capra is alone, the fight is not that bad. He has a nice moveset, every attack is fun to dodge, and it's one of the best foes in the entire game. Too bad the dogs just ruined it.
Hello there.
Even those 4 Capra demons randomly placed in demon ruins are easier than this one, by the way. Still, of course, I don't like them being reused. Overall, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever seen. Except Bat of Chaos. At number 24 is Centipede Demon, the king of terrible camera. Since this boss is giant, so are its hitboxes, which means it's almost impossible to see where you got hit from. Also, I have to mention, the whole arena is covered in lava, so the actual space you have to fight is really small. And it's only after defeating him that you get the ring to walk in lava. At least you can cut its tail and arms, making it hand-capped, which is quite funny. Also, it's really cool that each part of it becomes a new enemy. So, this boss has a bad moveset and arena, but since it's an endgame fight, you are probably going to be strong already to handle it. So it's a little bit better than Capra Demon. Still bad though. By the way, they also have the same lore, being the creation of Bat of Chaos. Funny how most of the terrible bosses in this game are related to it. At number 23 is Moonlight Butterfly, a boss which, despite its great music, is also terrible. All it does is fly around the arena for minutes, which is really boring, while shooting magic at you. If you are playing a range build, it's going to be easy cause even an NPC can solo it. But if you're playing a melee, you can only dodge and wait it to come down for some reason, and smash it until it's dead. Wait, where are you going? It glitched? Really? Not much to say about it. F tier as well. At number 22 is Ceaseless Discharge, yet another Chaos monster, which this time looks cool, not gonna lie. He's also the largest boss in the game, but only a chill guy, he doesn't even attack you until you stole his sister clothes. Which is totally reasonable, and I would do the same if someone gets my sister naked. As for his moveset, he can throw some fire at you, but most attacks are him trying to crush you with his giant arms, which is extremely easy to dodge and punish since he tends to take his time to rest after a single punch. But since his HP is giant, it's really boring to keep doing this until he's dead. Wow, what an exciting fight! You can also try killing him the gimmick way, which is better, of course. Funny way to beat it, but still a boring walking simulator. A waste of time. At number 21 is Demon Fire Sage, which is a copy of the first boss, which is actually a copy of the first boss of Demon Souls as well. This time it has nothing new, except it's now on fire and it's somehow weak to fire. I literally don't have anything to talk about it. It's a repeated boss and that sucks. But at least it's a copy of a good boss, so yeah, D tier for it. At number 20 is Stray Demon, the copy of the first boss, but this time it's bigger and can cause some explosions. Everything else is just the same. I like that it's a rematch after you go back to the asylum. You can see it at the beginning of the game actually. And that's cool, I guess, and that's why it's not an F tier boss. Even though the boss fight is better than the first one, if we're talking about moveset, there is no way that a repeated boss could be called amazing. But it's not terrible as well. By the way, D tier are those bosses that are not terrible, they add something to the game, but they are not good as well. They are pretty bad actually, but nothing close to the ones in F tier. At number 19, we have Pinwheel. Yeah, I know you were waiting for this one. You might ask me, why is this boss so high in the list? It's so easy that even a fly could beat it. You're right, but at least it's not frustrating and it looks cool. He can copy himself and throw fireballs, and that's all. Since it's not painful, it doesn't deserve the F tier, though it's not good at all. Yeah, this boss is... But what? What is this? Uh, What? I managed to die to Pinwheel? And he wasn't even alive! Dark Moon Dwindling. This one is odd, cause the fight itself is trash, but everything else is really good. I like the infinite corridor, despite not being infinite, it looks great. The music is also amazing and he or she, I don't know, it's complicated, has a great story, being actually responsible to make. Like everything you do in this game is his responsibility, every single challenge you face is because of him, so that's good.
Remember when you were making out with your first girlfriend, and you came right as she touched your leg? It was me, Parry. I jerked you off at super speed so it'd seem like you nutted at just a woman's touch!
But the fight itself is really easy. Run to him while he tries to shoot you. You can hide behind the pillars to avoid his attacks, then you get some hits, he teleports away, and you repeat that. When you notice, he's dead. The problem here is that he has a lot of damage. So for him to kill you is just really easy. But it doesn't change the fact that it's boring. Now for C tier bosses, there are only two here, and they are those which the upsides outshine the downsides. Number 17 we will be featuring Sif, who is also not a good boss. But this time the great music and awesome design and lore outshines the downsides. He's the dragon that betrayed his own because he was envy and tried to become immortal. He achieves that by a stupid crystal, without it he's just pathetic. Crawling with his tentacles, occasionally shooting some lasers and exploding pikes in the floor. But we all know that the real boss here is his stupid tail. It's so damn hard to cut it. I also like the first time we see him in the top of the archives. Although we are required to die for the prison set piece, that's bullshit of course, but you can always change your mind and go back to Fog.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
In the end, he looks cool, so does his arena, but he's just fine. It's kinda bizarre actually. If you want an advice for fighting him, just hit his belly until he's dead. it's kinda pathetic as I said, that's why it's going to C tier. Another large soul, at number 16 we have Grave Lord Nito. Just like Sif, he's a bad fight that is carried by everything else. His design is the best out of the lords. He's a bunch of skeletons with the coolest black cape and a sick red sword. But the lore is not that good. He's like the Green Reaper of Dark Souls, the guy who was so useless that manages to die before anyone else and became the Lord Death for some reason. As for the fight itself, he doesn't have a lot of attacks. His sword swings look cool, but cannot hit you if you stand close and strafe to the side. And his sword attack that goes through the floor is also really good, but inconsistent to dodge and not that fun. But until now, everything looks fine. The real problem here is those skeletons in his arena. To actually kill them, you can use a divine weapon, which is really fine, or let Needle Explosion deal with them. Just don't aggro the giants for your own well-being. Just take your cheap fall damage and stay right there to make the fight tolerable. Looking back right now, it seems like I gave it too much credit, but it doesn't matter. Now we are finally at the part of the list where bosses are actually fine. Here in B tier, they are not good, but not bad. They are just the middle of the road and fun bosses to face. Let's get started this year. In number 15 we have Gaping Dragon, a normal crocodile, and oh my god! Yeah, nice design. This thing looks so frightening. A giant dragon with an absurd amount of teeth. One of the best designs in music in the game. But the moveset is really bland. It walks and then it walks and then it walks again. Occasionally it jumps as well. And can also well do this, I guess. It's just really boring. It has a lot of HP, but it's not frustrating. Overall, it's an enjoyable encounter. Number 14 is Taurus Demon. Finally, a fine fight in this list. Though let's tackle his main problem out of the way. His hitboxes sucks. They tend to last longer than it looks, and the shockwave is also reach longer distance than it looks. But other than that, Taurus is a nice build who has one of the best OSTs in the entire game. The arena is really cool, although the camera does not help, and I kinda like those archers. They're actually easy to spot and a nice gimmick to the game. Taurus moveset is really good for an early game fight, despite every single one of them being normal hammer attacks. Just why are there like 11 of those here? Also, sometimes Taurus can give up on life. Yeah, that's quite sad, buddy. In the end, I really like this fight. And now for the first boss in the game, which is a copy of Earth 3 Avatar, of course, but that's okay. Despite the Island Demon being really easy, if this was your first Souls game, it can kick your ass sometimes. I really like that first you are just not able to do any damage to it, so you run away and go back stronger to destroy it with a plunging attack. As far as I remember, he and Taurus are the only ones that you can actually do that. Anyway, as for his attacks, they are just like Taurus, but a bit more pathetic. He mostly does a swipe that looks like he's cleaning the floor with a broom. This one is really easy to punish. It can also fly with its tiny wings, which is kind of funny, but since he's fat, he can't go far. He looks intimidating, and that's a good thing. It's a nice first boss that teaches you everything you need to know about the game, and yeah, it's good indeed. At number 12 is Priscilla, the only boss in the game that doesn't want to fight you. She is just living a peaceful life and asks us to leave, which means she is the only boss that can actually speak and has a nice sight. Sometimes though, she speaks too much.
But why? What seeketh thee?
But if you are a heartless monster just like me and hits her, the fight is really good. At first she is invisible, so you have to track her by the footsteps, which is an awesome gimmick. But when she reveals herself, the fight is over, thanks to her low HP and predictable attacks. But the cool factor is just too high, and that's why she's a good boss. Now at number 11 we have Guil. The final boss of this game is out of the top 10. That's because this fight is not actually great. Despite having the best music, his moveset looks cool and the fire sword is amazing, everything else just kinda sucks. His moveset is just too fast for this game, dodging is really hard and not worthy, and there are not many opportunities to attack. He's the only boss in the game that has input reading, so when you try to heal, he is going to attack you right away. So the best way to deal with him is to parry. By the way, he's the only boss that is actually parryable in the whole game, which is kinda pathetic. The lore is really cool, everybody knows about him, he's almost the main character in the game. And it kinda explains why this boss is so, disappointing. Guil is no more the lord he once was, he is now hollow, just like everything else in the game. It's a suited final boss for Dark Souls. Really good, but the fight itself is really mid. Still, everything else makes for a nice experience. Just now we reached top 10 and A tier bosses. These bosses are definitely good, and they could also be good bosses in other Souls games. And in the top 10 we have the Iron Golem, the boss of Sand Fortress, which we can see early on doing nothing and stand like there just like a Minecraft golem. I don't have much to talk about it, and I don't even know much about this boss actually. But the reason why this boss is up here is because of its moveset. Although most of his attacks are basic and easy to dodge, every single one is kinda fun. You can stay below him and try to hit his legs, but he's going to try to grab you and throw you off the arena. And you can also do the same thing to it. Wait, where are you going? Wait, Castle in the Sky? Is that the reference? Miyazaki, you're a genius. Good boss though. At number 9, I'll place Sif. This is probably the most iconic boss in the game, and the music helps it a lot, it's just amazing. His design is also, let me think of a word, fantastic. Yeah, that will do. Just a giant wolf with a really cool blue sword. With that said, he is definitely good. Better than any other wolf boss From Software has ever made. As for its difficulty, it's actually a breeze when you compare it to like a random street dog. Sif's moveset consists of spins and jumps. Unfortunately, when dodging you stay below him most of the time, which tends to be kinda clunky. Other than that, the lore is just amazing to see this little wolf, not so little actually, trying to avoid anyone getting to the abyss and be corrupted just like his master. It's really cute. But seriously Miyazaki, why did you make him limp mid-fight? I already know that I'm making something terrible by killing Sif, so you don't need to convince me. Still, considering that this wolf doesn't exist, it's really cool to fight it and to defeat it. A fine boss and a fun encounter. Number 8, I will go with 4 kings, which are actually 5 for some reason. Is this a glitch? Like in my last playthrough, there were 5 of those. Anyway, this is by far the best out of the 4 lords, and also the only great fight amongst them. And in the second half of this game. Although this boss is the first DPS check in Souls history, it's really good. So put on your Havel's armor and the strongest weapon you can find and try to blast them as fast as possible, cause you don't wanna be ganked by those 4. So kill the first before the others start spawning. Doing this almost trivializes the fight, but if you don't want it, it becomes one of the hardest in the game. You can also try a glass cannon build, which is actually viable, and you can experience the awesome moveset they have. Except that purple projectile, which is almost impossible to dodge. It lasts 50 seconds and it can almost one-shot you. So that's bullshit. But other than that, their attacks are straightforward. They deal more damage if you stay far away, which is really cool, I like that. And encourages you to keep close. And that's like the best way to fight any boss in Souls games, so I really like that. They kinda telegraph their attacks very well, and it's fun, it's really fun. Wow, this game is so fun! Overall, great boss. Also, I haven't mentioned yet that the drop to this boss fight in a pit full of nothing and see those guys spawning is just unmatched. Awesome feeling. At number 7, I'll place Guil, the boss that manages to combine my 3 greatest fears in life: spiders, fire, and women. It frightens me. But this boss is really good to face. She spits lava and has a cool looking sword. Unfortunately, if you strafe to the right, it's just ruined. and she cannot do anything. Just be careful to not get stuck under her legs and get exploded. So run away as fast as possible or you will get one shot. As I said, the design is amazing and the moveset as well. Lore and music, everything's so good, it's hard in the right way, and it's actually a really balanced and fun encounter. Now we have the other Bellkeeper boss, Bell Gargoyles. This just shows how the first half of this game is really overall better. So are its bosses. OST and design are amazing, the arena is great. I really like that we are fighting at the rooftops of the Undead Parish that we previously explored. Lore-wise, there's not much to say about it, but I really like the fact that the second Gargoyle has half of its HP, meaning many people tried and failed this boss before us. Anyway, the moveset is great, though it's kinda annoying when they fly away. This is also the first boss in the game that you can cut their tails and remove half of its moves. That makes it way easier.
Get away from me! Go on, you bunch of buzzards!
Still, there are two of those, and that's the real difficulty. Both of them complement each other very well. While one of them stays back breathing fire, the other one comes close. It's surprisingly doable and really fun to face. Just remember to not lock on. It's way better to do with free aim, and trust me, it's going to make the fight way easier and more enjoyable. Great boss though. Now we finally reached the S tier, bosses that are perfect and I wouldn't change nothing about them. Now let's go for a placement that I feel like is going to be quite controversial. Ornstein and Smog at 5th place. Yeah, I think every single boss in the DLC is better than this one. And to be true, this boss is not even good.
Overrated as fuck in my opinion, I mean...
Okay, calm down, alright? This boss is really iconic, it's memorable, hard, and surprisingly enjoyable. But it's not a good fight. It's just carried by the brilliant design, music, and setting, as well as being the pinnacle of the game. But in the end, as much as people say, they don't complement each other very well. It's just like Godskin Duel, and I'm not even joking. Though Godskin Duel sucks. This one is great because of everything else, not because of the fight itself. Allow me to explain. In the first phase, you can handle both of them using the pillars, trying to make Smog get stuck and dodge Ornstein attacks. If you don't use lock-on, it becomes easier. When you realize this, the fight is not that hard. If both of them manage to combo you, you're done. Overall, it's a mid-fight. The only reason why it works is because Smog is low and Ornstein rushes all the time, so you can deal with both of them. The only straight up unfair attack they have is Ornstein's dash, which is really bugged and impossible to predict. It even defies physics, like it doesn't make sense. Anyway, there is the second phase, which is different depending on which one you defeat first. You can face Super Ornstein or Super Smog. For me, Super Ornstein is the easiest, despite everybody saying otherwise. He is also the most fun to face. He becomes giant and the only new attack I noticed was Ground Pound, which is actually kind of funny. Every other attack looks really cool, but it's the same thing as the first phase. Sometimes he adds lightning. So yeah, it's the best out of the two. And Super Smog is the same thing as the first phase, but bigger and with some lightning. He does a damn absurd amount of damage and has a ton of HP, so it's kind of boring. At least his attacks are easy to dodge, but a single mistake could cost your life. 2 out of 10. I mean, 2 good out of 10. At 4th place, we have Sanctuary Guardian, the first boss in the DLC, which is a chimera, and chimeras are really cool. That's all I can say about the design. Comparing it to any other boss in this game, it's way more complex and faster, so for me it's overall more fun to face. It relies a lot on positioning and timing. The only problem I have with this one is that it's really hard to dodge without light roll. But still, I really like all its attacks, from wind, water, lightning. Wait, is he the Avatar? Once again, I really enjoyed this one, except if you're fighting 2 of them. At number 3, we have Calamite, the first actual good dragon boss in gaming history, I guess. It's really cool how you see him throughout the DLC. He annoys you a lot and kills you even. And with the help of a blind giant, we can actually take him down, which is kinda badass, not gonna lie. And then the fight starts. And he's such a cool looking dragon. That red mark on his head, which also works like a grab. And listen to this. Oh god, my ears. Yeah, you don't want to be caught on that. Cause if you do, for the rest of the fight, you are going to be taking double damage. And since he attacks so fast and breathes fire all the time, you are going to get overwhelmed. At least the fire looks awesome. Anyway, it's a really fun boss. My main problem with him is that you cannot hit his head. The best way is just go for the legs. And this is kinda boring cause you cannot see the whole dragon, but still, it's fun to dodge every single of his attacks, you can see where they are coming, and it's just overall a perfect fight. And now for the best of the best, these bosses would be good even in Elden Ring. They are so good that I consider them to be 10 out of 10. As the second best boss in the game, we have Manus, Father of the Abyss. This is the last DLC boss and absolutely the hardest one in the entire game. Sometimes I think that he's too fast for this game, especially his 6 attack combo which feels undodgeable. Every single other attack is simple, but it happens so fast that it's hard to dodge. Another thing that's admirable of this boss is his magic attack that can actually be deflected with the magic pendant, but I was never able to do that. But it's dodgeable and really fun. You can also summon Sif to this fight, which makes it kind of epic, not gonna lie. In the end, this is the most complex and challenging boss. That's why it's over here in the list. And now for the best boss in this game. I present you Artorias of the Abyss. Inspired by Berserk, he is the coolest looking knight ever, and the most recognizable character in any Souls. He was sent to stop the Abyss, the only one that could traverse it, but he was consumed. As the hero he is, he managed to save one, his little wolf friend, and this is amazing. He has an amazing design, the blue armor and broken arm looks so cool. The arena is the Colosseum for the perfect 1v1 with the perfect intro and a feat music. I do love this boss from an artistic standpoint, but what makes him the best one in the entire game is his moveset. From simple swipes and dashes, a cool west jump and the lion claw. Everything is so fun to dodge. Also, he's the only boss in the game that Lucky Known is actually viable, and it helps you to see everything the boss is doing. Also, he can buff himself mid-fight, which you can stop, and sometimes he throws Void at you, showing how much he fell from grace. And it's one of the best bosses From Software has ever made. And that's my list. Tell me in the comments what you think about it, and thank you for watching, see you next time.